Bruh, I did not enjoy this fight. I was pukey and nervous the whole time. My feelings were all jumbled up. What up, Fightful fam? Shakiel and Mahjouri here with your Fightful Fix August 15th UFC 252 post-fight edition. Now, before we go over all the craziness, all the madness that was UFC 252, I gotta ask if you could please hit subscribe and please tap the notification bell. That goes so far into helping this channel grow. A like doesn't hurt either, if you don't mind doing that. Alright, first things first, the heavyweight title fight, the trilogy fight, the rubber match between Stipe Miocic and Daniel Cormier. Stipe Miocic takes it, unanimous decision, 48-47 on one card, 48-46 on two of the judges' scorecards. Bruh, I did not enjoy this fight. I was pukey and nervous the whole time. My feelings were all jumbled up, but it was a great fight. It was an incredible fight, a terrific way to wrap up the trilogy. Competitive all the way through. Daniel Cormier nearly knocked down Miocic in the first. Miocic rallies in the second, knocks DC down in the second, and nearly finishes him. Third round, right at the end, Miocic was chasing DC down, hit him with a really bad eye poke. It went unnoticed by referee Mark Goddard, but it completely screwed up Cormier's vision. After the post-fight, he said that basically, all of round 4, all of round 5, he was completely blind in his left eye, couldn't see a thing, and that ultimately contributed to Miocic defending his title. I don't know if that's the case. All I know is this was truly an incredible fight, one of the great series in MMA, and it's hard because Miocic, for me at least, is possibly my all-time favorite fighter. And then in Cormier, you have such a great ambassador for the sport, someone who was hoping to go out, retire after this fight as the champion. And so there was really no fairy tale ending for me. After the fight, DC did tell Joe Rogan that he's retired, that it is a tough pill to swallow for him to lose his series to both Jon Jones and to Stipe Miocic, but that it's just something he's going to have to deal with. If this truly is the end for Daniel Cormier, I just want to say that I don't think this loss does anything to tarnish his legacy. It would have been a great achievement to add onto his list of records, but truly, DC, when you go down his resume, has one of the greatest all-time UFC and MMA runs. Two-division champion, beat the likes of Stipe Miocic, Alexander Gustafsson, Anderson Silva, Josh Barnett back in Strikeforce. He's an Olympian, so my hat is off to DC for having one of the truly miraculous runs in MMA. So, as for what's next, UFC President Dana White made it clear that Francis Ngannou would be fighting the winner of Daniel Cormier and Stipe Miocic. This means that we should be getting a rematch, Miocic versus Ngannou 2, and boy is that interesting. Ngannou was this juggernaut coming into their fight the first time. Miocic, great game plan, avoided the big strikes, took Ngannou down at will, and earned a one-sided unanimous decision the first time out. Now, Ngannou and his camp say that, man, his takedown defense, his wrestling, his grappling have improved leaps and bounds in his short MMA career, but we haven't seen it because Ngannou just keeps knocking people out left, right, and center. This will be the chance for Ngannou to truly prove that he is a well-rounded fighter, and man, an Ngannou that can stop the takedowns is an Ngannou that I am absolutely terrified of. Co-main event, a lot of weirdness. Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Vera. Marlon Vera, a lot of people will tell you, myself included, he was a live dog going into this. Meanwhile, Sean O'Malley really looked prime to become a major superstar with a win. It didn't go his way, and it ended in weird fashion. O'Malley had a great start, landed a lot of leg kicks on Marlon, as well as some nice ones to the body, but partway through round 1, O'Malley takes a bad step, nearly falls over, and you could tell immediately that his foot was compromised. Later in the fight, he takes another bad step, falls down to the ground. Marlon Vera chases him, lands an elbow that, to me, honestly looked like it put O'Malley out for a split second, but he came to, started trying to close his guard. Marlon landed a few more strikes, and referee Herb Dean called it off. Now, there was some controversy to the stoppage because O'Malley did seem to be actively trying to get his guard back, but as soon as the fight ended, O'Malley just keeled over, grabbed onto his foot, and you could tell that he was in audible pain. In fact, O'Malley was stretchered off at the end. So, great performance of Marlon Vera, incredible ground and pound, but a little bit of an asterisk that should serve to help O'Malley in terms of retaining a lot of his star power. What do I think should be next for Marlon Vera? I think a fight against Merab would be terrific. Merab the Machine taking John Dodson's ranked position after a one-sided wrestling affair. I think that'd be a very competitive matchup. Otherwise, I think this is a good chance to give Marlon or Merab a step up in competition and take on someone like 7th ranked Jimmy Rivera, who is coming off a win over Cody Stamann. That is a sort of fight that will truly gauge whether or not these guys are ready to make a top 5 run towards the title. Jimmy Rivera has struggled against the top of the division, but only the top of the division, and he is ultra dangerous and ultra well-rounded. Also on the main card, third fight from the top, Junior Dos Santos versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. JDS looked very, very competent on the feet across the first 2 rounds. I think edging out Rozenstruik in both. However, man, you cannot mess with Rozenstruik's power. He backed up JDS to the fence, a position we've seen Ngannou susceptible to in the past, and Rozenstruik let off a fury of punches that dropped JDS twice en route to the finish. So, what do I think should be next for Rozenstruik? Easy, man. Put him in there with Derek Lewis. 2 strong, mean, powerful strikers who will undoubtedly finish the fight. Try not to jinx it, a la Lewis and Ngannou 1, but, that's just my thought. All right, let's take a look at the 3 biggest fights outside of the marquee matchups. Merab earned a one-sided 30-27 decision over John Dodson with lots of pressure. Despite only landing 2 of 20 takedowns officially, he was in firm control of the pace from start to finish. Next up, Verna Jandiroba with a quick, surgical, methodical first-round armbar over Felice Herring. She took her down, got to mount, snatched the arm, less than 2 minutes in and out. That chick is a serious threat. And finally, I gotta give it to Kai Kamaka III, 29-28 decision against Tony Kelly, but man, he showed mean combinations, quick hands, and lots of power. I like that dude. Alright, so what are my Performance of the Night awards? You gotta give it to Daniel Cormier versus Stipe Miocic for Fight of the Night. That thing was a banger. Both men were hurt, ultra competitive, close decision. If you're not gonna do that, I think Kai Kamaka III versus Tony Kelly in the opening bout of the card. They put on a firefight from start to finish. And also just, sprinkle a little shout out to Vince Pichel versus Jim Miller. They made ground grappling exciting. And that is all for tonight's Fightful Fix UFC 252 post-fight edition. If you don't mind tapping that subscribe button and that notification bell, it goes a long way to helping things run smoothly over here, and a like never hurts. Let me know in the comments section, who do you think should have had their hand raised at the end of Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier 3, and how bad do you think that eye poke was? Plus, what are your thoughts on Miocic versus Ngannou 2? For Fightful MMA, I'm Shakiel Mahjouri. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Stay safe, and we'll catch you next time.